counting down to come in here to be with you so we can get activated. I'm your girl, Melissa D, your activation specialist. And I am so excited because this month we are focusing on people who are really about bringing ministry to the marketplace, whether it's through their businesses, their testimonies, or sharing their stories to change your life in the name of Christ. And I am here with none other than my friend, my sister friend, Nichole Smith. How you doing, Leah?
Hey, Melissa. I'm doing really well today.
Good. Welcome to the Activation Hour.
Thank you.
You know, it is so amazing I love when parts of my life become a blend.
Yes.
So, like, you know, I know we have these different pockets. Like, we have our corporate lives, we have, like, our hobbies, we have our friends, and all these different pockets. And we are really a blend. And so, Leah represents a blend in my life.
Absolutely.
She is a blend for me. And I'm so glad that, you know, although our relationship started in our corporate fields, we in property management. And I told her this story recently. Before I became a corporate trainer, I saw her as a trainer, and I was like, she's good. I want to do what she's doing. Oh my God. I mean, I think the class may have even been like a couple of hours, and I was still just like glued to what Leah was saying. And she's just so dynamic and has a gift and a heart for people. And it's just a dynamo in her field. But this is where the blend happens when, you know, we go through things in life and we cross paths where our story is more than that one box. Mm-hmm. It's more than that one place where we know each other. And the truth of the matter is, if you talk to people long enough at your office or, you know, wherever you go, there are other levels of connection. And so, Leah, I'm so honored that, you know, you reached out and you said, you know what? I want to tell my story. And she has a story indeed, a testimony that is going to blow you away and bless you. And so today, Leah and I, we want to recognize and give honor to survivors of breast cancer, those who are still in the fight, and definitely give honor to those who didn't lose the fight but had the victory. And so we are so thankful. We are so thankful. This month, October, it's like, you know, we have so many different types of awareness going on, whether it be domestic violence awareness, breast cancer awareness. But I see the commonality is it's all about survivors. And what we're going to talk about today is really the strength to survive. And Leah's going to share with you all of the things she had to be in tune to. You know, in her mind and her body, to know what was going on and to face it head on and to, by the glory of God, still be sitting here today.
Amen.
So I'm going to tell you a little bit about my friend, Nichole Smith here. She's a mother, a daughter, a sister, friend, and a breast cancer survivor. Her journey is both inspirational and enlightening. It's one with hard-learned lessons and personal discoveries. She describes herself as an extroverted introvert, and I totally get that.
Yeah.
I get it. When you're a trainer, a speaker, and you travel like we do, there comes a time where you're like, I need to go be by myself.
Yeah. I don't want to talk to anybody.
I don't talk to y'all today. Don't take it personal. But we have to steal away sometimes. So I get it. She's an extroverted introvert, but a personality on 100. But sometimes we have to go back and get refilled. Professionally, she speaks on stage to hundreds of people. I told you that's how I met her, and it just blew me away. Dynamic speaker, and yet is comfortable keeping to herself. What that tells me is she's about balance, guys, and she's going to share some of that with you too. Leah's why me moment, or her activation hour, actually led to the realization that her cancer story can be any woman's story, and is here today to share her experience. So I applaud what you're doing. That it's one thing to go through something privately, and like I was sharing with her, I would have had no idea on the surface what she's going through. And that's the case with most people, that we go through our lives, we put on our mask, we put on our armor, and we go out into the world, and on the inside we're fighting, literally.
Yeah, I told you that probably when you met me, I was in the middle of chemo.
And I would have not had a clue about that. And so I want to just say we're going to have a moment of such transparency. The masks are coming off. The armor is coming off, because I applaud Leah and so many like her who are saying, you know what? Let me tell you about when I didn't have it together. Let me tell you about the struggle and the fight, because you're not alone. I'm literally looking at you in the camera and I'm telling you guys, you're not alone, okay? She's here to raise awareness and support current fighters. So let's just dive right in about the strength to survive. Let's do this. I'm ready. So, the activation hour, it's that moment in life when you'll never be the same.
Mm-hmm.
You go from your normal, your old thing, whoever you thought you were, to this new creature. And there's something that has happened. Usually there's a shift, an event, sometimes life altering. It could be something big or small. And you called it your why me moment.
Mm-hmm.
I call it an activation hour. What was that moment for you, and what was it like?
My activation hour was a phone call.
Okay.
Literally a 60-second phone call.
Okay.
I was on a business trip to Phoenix, Arizona. I was in the middle of a 5-day trip, so just kind of setting it up, 5 days before I could come back home. I get a phone call from my doctor. She was like, do you have a minute? Can you come into the office today? And no, I'm on a trip. What's going on? Just not even thinking I was going to hear what I, was about to hear. And she's like, well, we got the results back from your biopsy. It's cancer. And I am in a hotel room about 8:30 in the morning, 30 minutes from speaking to 300 people.
Oh my gosh.
I get the phone call. So I immediately hang up from her. I call my mom and dad. I've never heard my parents wail before. So just to tell you how heartbreaking that is, just to know that you're breaking somebody's heart.
Wow.
My dad tried to calm me down. I was very calm. I think I was just in shock.
You're still processing what you just heard.
Yeah, exactly. I think I was just in shock, and I said it sort of matter-of-factly,
Okay.
And then I apologized to my parents. I told them I was sorry that I had to tell them that.
Wow.
Parents got off the phone. Less than 10 minutes after that, my pastor calls me. He was the second phone call I had after that. We prayed. He kind of centered my spirit a little bit, got me focused, and I went out there and I spoke to 300 people for 90 minutes. Right after getting, the diagnosis that's gonna, change everything.
Let's sit in that for a minute.
Yeah.
This part of the story, I have a lot of this I haven't heard, and to know, even in your weakest hour, to find the strength to face people and a room full of strangers, that it's not like you're going to a family function where you got your support love system
and
in the room.
Right.
You gotta go turn on, and as we say, okay, I gotta be on, I gotta be focused, and I know personally the focus that it takes to do that. That's a God moment.
Yeah, I needed him. I needed him, and he was right there. My pastor didn't have to call. He could have prayed with my parents, and but he reached out directly to me.
Wow.
And it was on a Wednesday, and I was not supposed to come home until that Saturday.
Yeah.
And honestly, that business trip was God again, because I needed to stay busy. I needed to not think about it. Exactly, because I could have wallowed and and just had the most negative thoughts going through my head. And of course that happens. Of course you're thinking the worst until you know what you're dealing with.
Yeah.
And I made it home on a Friday. I came home one day early, and that Friday afternoon I was in the doctor's office, trying to map out how we're going to fight this,
getting your strategy and your plan together. It's like I have to ask this then, was there any moment where you were able to sit and process it, or did you just kind of go head on, like you had the distractions, and you went to the doctor and you start coming up with your plan, your care strategy or your plan or whatever? Was there any moment you really just sat and processed it?
No. And that is one of the things, if I could give any advice to someone who may be getting that phone call next week, you have to process it. Because when you finally realize what you're going through, it hits you like a ton of bricks. You know, it literally stops you in your path. I was so busy just trying to fix the problem that I never took the time to acknowledge the problem.
Wow.
You know, and set myself up mentally and spiritually to go through it. I just wanted to get it over with. And anyone, you know, you have to take that time, because what you do, you need a moment to mourn your old life.
Wow. That's deep. Like, and it's whether it's cancer you're talking about, grief, any kind of like axis, like something that just shifted you, you do have to grieve.
Yeah. And you need to be able to say goodbye to it, because I never did.
Because you'll never be the same after that.
Never. I never said goodbye to the old me. I was so busy trying to fix the broken me to get back to the old me.
Wow.
Does that make sense?
It makes sense to me. It does. And I think so many people try to function in the space that I'm fine, there's nothing wrong with me, I'm not different. And it's okay to acknowledge that something new and different has shifted in you, and that it is going to change you. And that is hard on any level because human nature is, I want to hold on to everything that is the old me and everything that's safe and comfortable. So you can't take me out of that. That's human nature.
Right. It could be like someone who's in a relationship. You're in a marriage and you get a divorce. You're still trying to hold on to who you were married instead of celebrating the new person that's to come.
Wow. That, I want you guys, y'all know we have, I know I'm not Oprah. Shout out to Oprah, Lady O.
Hey, Oprah.
This is a tweetable moment. As Oprah said for Soul Sunday. You have to take a moment to sit in it and grieve your old life. You have so many gems you shared with me that you want to make sure that other people hear. And just share with us some of those strength points, those moments those things you had to do to survive. Share with us maybe your first point about that.
Yeah, I think one of the things we talked about and kind of prepping for this was I went to church a few years ago, way before cancer, way before. And there was a sermon where the pastor said, God speaks to us in whispers.
Yeah.
All the time.
Still small voice.
You know, very, very faint whispers. But we're so busy with the day-to-day and the trying to drive the direction of our own lives that we don't pay attention to those whispers. And eventually the whispers get a little bit louder. And then before you know it, God has to shout at you.
Yeah, he's like, hey, I've been talking to you. You don't want God to hear.
Right.
I know. It doesn't feel good when he gets there to that point with you.
And so the pastor was saying, he's like, you know, you don't want God to shout. Like, you don't. You don't want to get to the point where God has to yell at you.
That's real.
Similar to a parent. You know, parents tell you all the time, you know, this is the advice I'm giving you. This is what I think you need to do.
Good.
And, you know, we keep ignoring. So my whisper, I had a small lump, very small lump, in July of 2011. And I've always had cysts, as I'm sure a lot of women out there. You feel something, you just kind of chalk it up to, it is what it is, you know. And my doctor felt the same thing with my history. You know, let's just see how it goes. You know, let's just, you know, you're coming up on your annual anyway in October. We'll keep an eye on it until then. And life happened, you know. Again, not ignoring the whispers, but maybe just
kind of like,
not
I'll get
wanting,
to it.
not wanting to listen, I guess.
Yeah.
And I didn't go to the doctor. There's a lot of reasons, personal, professional stuff. Didn't end up going until December of 2011. And the doctor that I had at the time was like, yeah, this doesn't look right. You know, something about this just isn't right. And saw a specialist in January and was diagnosed just like that. In 6 months, it went from probably stage 1 to stage 3.
That fast?
So my main point in coming here today is just to let women out there know, you know, If it had been stage 1, it would have been one procedure, none and done.
Yeah.
That's it. Stage 3, we're talking chemo, we're talking double mastectomy, we're talking
Wow.
reconstruction,
Mhm.
and in just 6 months. So you can't wait.
Don't delay.
Don't delay, please,
I,
ladies.
I mean, that is it's aggressive, and it literally it could cost you the fight. It's just like even in anything you're trying to survive. It's like if you don't have some sense of urgency about it, what it could cost you
Mm-hmm.
potentially. And I like how you said that, like stage 1, it would have been so simple. And I think that goes with anything in our lives. When you feel that nudge, we said God, speaks in whispers or he's a still small voice. Some people call it intuition or they got a gut feeling or what. Pay attention to that stuff. Your body, I've recently been kind of talking to my pastor a lot about emotions,
Mm-hmm.
and I've been studying even in the word about emotions and why we have them. And I'm learning because I get coined as an emotional person. I feel a lot. I'm an empath. I'm one of those people in the world. And I've grown to the point of maturity where okay, I don't make decisions based on emotion, but I realize that I feel like that's God's way
Mm-hmm.
of letting us know something's going on.
Yeah.
Emotions are like the thermostat in our body. It's like, wait, or rather the thermometer. It's a temperature check. If you're angry, I need to do a temperature check about what made me mad. If I'm sad, I need to do a temperature check about what emotionally triggered me. If something's going, and especially for women, if you know your normal temperament, something's not right, you're not feeling it, listen to that stuff, and I love that you said it's a whisper. God speaks in whispers, and you don't
Yeah.
want him to yell. And so, what happened next? How did that evolve? So 6 months go by. You realize, okay, it's stage 3 now. We come up with a plan. What happens next?
Yeah, well, inside of that 6 months, I think, God knew I was ignoring him. He knew, like, she's not listening.
Okay.
She's not listening. So what I need to do,
Get
because
her
I'm about to
attention.
put her through something, I'm about to put her through this.
Mhm.
So what I need to do is I need to set her up to where she can fight this successfully.
Okay.
I changed jobs inside of the 6 months,
Mhm.
changed jobs, moved back to Atlanta where my entire family is here. Awesome, awesome company where I could
Mhm.
work from home. Benefits were unbelievable.
Mhm.
Everything was set up for me leading up to
Wow.
that phone call. Because
He know.
had I been diagnosed, and with my old life, I probably would financially be in debt right now. I would have gone through it all by myself because I didn't have family in that area. Job situation, maybe, maybe not. They would have been very supportive and let me work from
Yeah.
home, through it all. I don't know. But God, He said, I'm getting ready to shout at you. You're not going to like what I have to say, but I have set you up in a way where you're going to be okay.
Wow.
If you just stick with me, don't worry, you're going to
Yeah.
be okay. Because during
Wow.
my chemo,
Mhm.
just going back to how God just has us, just
Mhm.
rock solid. I was supposed to go through 4 rounds of chemo.
Mhm.
My body could only take 3. 2 weeks before the 4th round, my oncologist said, you really need to have 4 because we have no idea if cancer is anywhere else in your body. This is going to help you. You need to go through the full regimen before you have your surgery. And something just told me, here's that whisper again, you're done. You're done.
Mhm.
And I had to tell the doctor, I'm just going to go ahead and do the surgery. So went through with the surgery, kind of blind. We don't know how this is going to go.
Yeah.
And a couple couple days after the surgery, I get a call from my surgeon, and she says, what I'm about to tell you, only 20% of stage 3 patients ever hear. I'm like, okay, here we go.
Okay.
She says, you're done. I said, done as in what? She says, your margins are so clear and beautiful. You don't need radiation.
Wow.
We got it all. None of your nodes were affected. Go live your life.
Wow.
And just that, go live your life, because like I said, think you're going to be back to your old self. You think you're going to go back to your old life. And when I had my moment of mourning, which was in the middle of chemo, I realized, okay, I'm going to have to do things different from here on out. Life's going to be different. So going back to why prevention is so important and why making sure, ladies out there, you're getting yourselves checked and you're taking every little lump as if it's the lump.
Yeah.
My life right now is lived 6 months at a time. Every 6 months, I have to go through a battery of tests every 6 months, and it's been 5 years. But if we can prevent one woman from having to live her life 6 months at a time, I think we're doing okay.
Yeah, or just prevention, catching it early.
Yeah.
That is, I'm going through everything you're saying, like a movie in my mind right now. Like, oh my gosh, what emotions were in your body when they said go live your life, and what, so what are you gonna do? Like, okay, you get the all clear and they say go live your life. What's the first thing you went to do?
Yeah, well, I know the first thing I did, I went on vacation.
I was gonna say I'd be like in Greece or Paris. Yeah, I would just quit everything. Like, I gotta go live.
we went on vacation.
Wow.
And it's so funny because usually, you pack a battery of stuff. You just have all kind of stuff that you're gonna take with you. I was just happy just to grab a purse and go.
Now that's living. I don't care what I need. I'll figure it out along the way. That's a for real caution to the wind, live your life.
Because you're so cooped up. You don't really get to go out a whole lot. You don't feel up to going out, a lot. I think the moment where I really felt like I was hitting the gas was when my hair started growing back. You get the little peach fuzz, and it's just, I broke out the baby brush, just so that I could,
But the fact that those things begin to excite you, and for some people, they don't handle that well. But you said, you know what, I'm embracing my peach fuzz, I'm embracing that I can travel. You lived.
Yeah.
Leah, you lived.
You have to. Even if I have friends today who are living with cancer, and I think a lot of times when you hear that word, you immediately think there's a countdown clock and it's, going to be over.
Yeah, talk about it.
We have to stay faithful and prayerful. And, cancer, I told you this before, cancer steals enough from you. It steals enough. Why do we give it any more?
That's good. I remember you saying that. I was like, that's powerful.
Yeah, why do we give it any more?
Yeah.
I mean, it takes your sleep because you can't sleep at night. You're worried. It takes the, friendship connections that you tend to have because a lot of your friends don't know how to help.
Yeah, you're right.
So it takes a lot from you. And I just refused, to just give it anymore. And that's why I think a lot of people were really surprised to find out that I even went through it. Because, okay, you've done enough, Mrs. Cancer. I'm not going to make this any worse than it needs to be.
I'm not going to give you unnecessary attention or pieces of me.
Right.
You touched on something really good, that the friendships, the relationships, and how they evolve now because of this diagnosis and this place you're in. Simply because a lot of times people don't know how to maneuver or how to, it's like, what do I say? What do I do? I don't know. They don't know. So tell us about that. You shared a little bit about the team. Tell us about that.
Yeah, I had an awesome team, and I still do. But what I learned was I had to give everybody a role to play. Because my dad has always been Mr. Fix-It. He just wants to fix it. My mom is like the one who just wanted to make sure that her baby was okay. So if I gave them jobs in a way, quote unquote jobs, I think they felt more helpful. So my parents, I wanted them to go to church with me. That's all I wanted. I just need you to go to church with me. I don't want to go to church by myself. My mom went to every single doctor's appointment. And I was so happy that she did because she could remember things that I probably didn't pay attention to because I was just it just sounded so strange. Like I was outside of my body. Are they talking about me?
Yeah.
Are they talking about
You're still processing.
Yeah. And my sister was the comic relief. We go to the movies. She'd hang out, treat me normal. She's the one that kept me sort of normal.
Okay.
My girlfriends, college roommates, we've all been friends now going on 30 years. They were just so prayerful. And, my prayer circle, they call me, pray in the morning, pray midday, just got me through it. And I think my daughter, and I might have told you this, she was in college at the time.
Okay.
So my daughter kind of kept me like my beacon, my compass. Like I'm still her mom. I might be going through this, but I still have a job to do.
Wow.
So being her mom really helped center me. When everything else was spiraling out of control, it was like, I can't spiral out of control because she needs me. So if anyone, those of you who are going through it right now and you kind of feel like maybe your family or friends are suffocating you because it's just because they love you so much.
They do. They mean you well.
Yeah, they love you so much, and they don't want this for you, obviously. But my advice, and it helped us, was just to give everybody a job.
I like that. That's good advice.
Yeah.
Because they don't know, and when you give them a little guidance, they're like, cool, I can do that.
Yeah, I can do that. You want me to go to church? I can do that, That way they don't feel like they have to come over and cook you dinner because you don't really need that. Or maybe you do. Maybe that's what you need someone in your life for. So, and it empowered them because this whole journey makes everyone feel helpless.
Wow.
Everybody's going through it.
Everyone who loves you, they're like, if I could take this away from you, I would.
Yeah.
So there is a sense of helplessness. And now, like you said, giving a role, giving a definition, having a destination, it gives you your power back. It empowers you.
And I think when you survive it, everybody survives it. My mom is a cancer survivor. She never had cancer. My dad's a cancer survivor. And
That's a good way to look at it.
But yeah, they all survived it.
Because they were in it with you.
Yeah, we all got through it.
Oh my gosh! Shout out mom and dad and sister and
hey,
and
Alonzo and Brenda.
Man, shout out to the team. Thanks for holding Leah down. Oh my gosh, I'm so moved. Like I'm moved. I'm moved for everybody who's hearing this. I'm honored that you found the strength not only to survive it, but now to relive the story and to share it. And oh my gosh, guys, if you're listening, you're more than welcome. Please reach out to Leah, show her some love. I would love to hear your stories. Please go to my website, melissadwhite.info. Check out Leah's bio. It's there. You can be friends with her on Facebook. Share it. We want to keep you encouraged through your fight. We want to pray with you, give you the strength to fight, and keep it going. I don't even want to take a break because I'm sitting in this moment with you.
I know. One last thing, though.
Yeah.
I remember asking my doctor, I said, so when do you become a survivor? Is it year 1? Is it year 5? How long does it take before
when am I clear?
Yeah, before I can claim survivor. And my doctor, Dr. Amerson, big shout out, she said the day you got the call. The day you got the call, you became a survivor.
The day the doctor said, go live your life.
No, the day
you got
the call that you had cancer. That's when you become a survivor.
Wow, that's an interesting perspective.
Because you're either going to fight it or you're not. Yeah, so that's the day you become a survivor.
Man, that opens up a whole world of questions for me. And guys, you got to stay connected. You got to come back because you're going to hear more of my questions for Leah on even just that point about the moment you become a survivor is the day you get your diagnosis. I'm gonna unpack that. Y'all don't go anywhere. Stay connected. You're still with me on the Activation Hour. We're just gonna cut to a quick break with a featured song from our artist of the week, Jarvis Jinx. And so check out his music. You can see the video, get your snacks or whatever you gotta get, but you gotta come right back and sit and chill with me and Leah Nichole Smith. I'm your girl Melissa D on the Activation Hour 108 Praise Radio, where we're always voicing the gospel. Stay connected.
Ain't shooting no rifle. My people still on the block. I'm trying to get them off the block. You people talking about the game, I've been in the game, I got the game live. Jesus with me living good, yeah, I graduated out the hood. Hating on me cause I love Jesus, I ain't tripping, I knew that you would. Jeremiah, that's a 29, if you seek him, then you shall find. I got blessings on me all the time, I got blessings on me all the time. I'm a CHRISTIAN, ride with God to the end. Yeah, Jesus, he died for the sin. I'm a CHRISTIAN, ride with God to the end. Yeah, Jesus, he died for the sin. I'm a CHRISTIAN, ride with God to the end. Yeah, Jesus, he died for the sin. I'm a CHRISTIAN, ride with God to the end. Yeah, Jesus, he died for the sin. Bring me free, G-Kid Wedge, Corey Blunt, and my dude real. We gon' pray that God send him home. We gon' pray that God send him home. Lot of partners in the chain gang. Can't get caught up with the same thing. I just had to switch my lane, man. I've been trying hard to maintain. Preaching to them, they like, who am I? I just tell them, come on this side. God turned me to a man now. No excuses, I done ran out. Made plans that ain't panned out. I was mad at the world, how bad luck fell left out. God already had it planned out. No religion, but I'm really with it. I'm just sorry if you get offended. God told me do my thing though. Just remember what I came for. Jeremiah, that's a 29. If you seek him, then you shall find. I got blessings on me all the time. I got blessings on me all the time. I'm a CHRISTIAN, ride with God to the end. Yeah, Jesus, he died for the sin. I'm a CHRISTIAN, ride with God to the end. Yeah, Jesus, he died for the sin. I'm a CHRISTIAN, ride with God to the end. Yeah, Jesus, he died for the sin. I'm a CHRISTIAN, ride with God to the end. Yeah, Jesus, he died for the sin. I'm a CHRISTIAN, ride with God to the end. Yeah, Jesus, he died for the sin. I'm a CHRISTIAN. CHRISTIAN, ride with God to the end. Yeah, Jesus, he died for the sin. I'm a CHRISTIAN, ride with God to the end. Yeah, Jesus, he died for the sin. I'm a CHRISTIAN, ride with God to the end. Yeah, Jesus, he died for the sin. I'm a CHRISTIAN, ride with God to the end. Yeah, Jesus, he died for the sin. Remember me from way, way back up in the G. You probably know me from the streets. Yeah, I was only trying to eat. I ain't know about Jesus or nothing. I was only addicted to money. Pray to heaven every time. It took me from nothing and made me to something. Now I gotta read the Bible. You know Jesus Christ, that's my idol. I made a vow to my God. Ain't selling no drugs, ain't shooting no rifle. My people still on the block. I'm trying to get them off the block. You people talking about the game, I've been in the game, I got the game live. Jesus with me living good, yeah, I graduated out the hood. Hating on me cause I love Jesus, I ain't tripping, I knew that you would. Jeremiah, that's a 29, if you seek him, then you shall find. I got blessings on me all the time, I got blessings on me all the time. I'm a CHRISTIAN, ride with God to the end. Yeah, Jesus, he died for the sin. I'm a CHRISTIAN, ride with God.
What's up, family? Welcome back to the second half of this week's Activation Hour. I'm your girl, Melissa D. Joined here with my wonderful, amazingly strong guest, Nichole Smith. She is truly a survivor, and she is here to tell her story of how she had the strength to survive breast cancer. And we are praying, and just we were talking during a break about, you know, how this all even manifested, how it happened, and how she conquered it. And it is truly, as you listen to her story, it's my prayer that something moves you to get checked, to do your at-home breast exams, to go to the doctor, and even when you know your body, you know what's going on. So you have to speak up for yourself, for your body, for your health. And I was telling you right before the break, Leah was talking about, you asked your doctor, so like, when do I become a survivor? Like, there's like this date that says, okay, now you're in the clear, so I've survived. And your doctor said the day you got your call with your diagnosis is the day you're a survivor. And that resonates so much. I think with any news we get in life, whether it's a loss whether it's, you reference divorce, whatever it is, the day you get the news is the day you have to decide how you're going to handle it.
Yeah, absolutely. And, I never thought about it. I always thought that you're not a survivor unless cancer is no longer in your body. They've done all the stuff they needed to do. You're cancer free means you're a survivor. And when she put it to me in those terms, like, no. The day you were told you had cancer is the day.
You have to have made up mind.
Exactly. It's more of that mental switch.
Yeah.
Yeah, they say things like fight like a girl and we're going to fight breast cancer, but to survive it is part of that fight.
Yeah. Yeah. I love that. I mean, as with anything in life, the moment you get any news that's unfavorable or not good news, you have a split-second decision to make. And I was even starting to wonder as you were sharing that part of the story, I'm like, man, what does God put in us to give us the strength? That just made me think, like, wow, the Spirit of God is just like activated in you where, like, I'm going to live. I'm going to live. That's why it is so important, the things we speak over our lives. Even when you don't feel it, what are you speaking? What are you manifesting? What are you thinking? As a man thinketh, so is he. I'm more than a conqueror in Jesus Christ. Like, start pitching back to him his word.
Yeah, that brings up another sermon. I love my pastor so much. But my pastor said, if you are the kind of person that constantly goes around, the glass is half empty, this is wrong, oh, this is horrible, my life is, just being very negative. God's listening to all that. And God's like, well, if you think that's bad, let me show you bad.
Okay, now.
But if you, on the flip side, are very positive and very thankful and gracious and, oh, my life is so wonderful, I have a great job, I have a great family, I'm
gratitude.
Worship. Right. Yeah, so, you're just overwhelmed with gratitude. God is listening to that as well, and God's saying, well, if you think that's good, just let me show you.
Oh my gosh.
Let me show you what good can be.
Yes.
So I do believe what you put out, you receive.
You have to pitch him back his word. It will not come back void. It won't. And even come what may, we still have victory in him, no matter the outcome. It starts here. I truly do believe those things feed our souls. They feed our bodies. What we say, what we do, what we believe to be so. So the day you get that call, do I believe I'm going to come out of this? Do I believe I'm strong enough? And even in the times you don't, you call it out.
Right.
You reach for it. You grab for it. You hold on to it. You're literally fighting for your life.
Yeah, and I never asked why me, as in, why did you pick on me? Why are you doing this to me? I looked at why me as in, okay, what's the lesson? What's, why are you using me in this way? Because if you're and that's anything in life. If you're looking at things in life like, woe is me, why me? You're missing the lesson. And it took me a while. It took me a while to realize what that lesson was. But, once you have that activation hour, as you would, you would
that's
say.
what it is.
Yeah, I think mine is that my life was very good, very smooth, very, I don't want to say ideal, but great family, all that good stuff. I was very blessed, always have been very blessed. But I kept those blessings to myself. I just lived life.
Yeah.
And I enjoyed it and made sure those around me, I had a good life. But I think the why me here was I never had a story to tell. All I could talk about was I have a good job, I have a great family. But it didn't necessarily spark change in someone else. God gave me a story. That's what cancer was.
Yeah.
I had a story. I mean, I could talk about how great my daughter is, but everybody can talk about how great, how great their kids are.
Yeah.
But this journey, however you want to call it, journey, story, it actually gave my life a center in a way.
Okay. I like that.
Because a lot
There's
of
meaning.
us, yeah,
There
a
was
meaning.
before,
Yeah,
but
but
it has a higher purpose.
exactly. Because a lot of us, like I was all about just being very professional, doing a great job, that kind of stuff. But at the end of the day, that doesn't change someone else's life. It doesn't lead to an aha moment for that other person. You came to my class and sat for 2 hours and enjoyed it. And that's great. But I can be on this radio show right here and actually spark change in somebody else.
Absolutely. That's what we're called for. We're called for that. I truly believe. It was so funny. I like to tell y'all some of like antics and stuff that happen like off camera. So Leah and I were talking about like our bios or whatever from the comical sense of, and I don't take this in a macabre way, but like we're like, man, I hate writing about myself because it's like, is this what people are gonna say about me when I'm gone? It's so weird to talk about yourself. And I was telling her, like, for me, like I've always been inquisitive. I've always asked people all these questions. I think I was just destined to be in this seat, but to be on the other side and to have to tell who I am or write about it, it's like, I don't know, but when it has meaning, though, when it's more than accolades, when it's more than where I went to college and what I did, but who did I affect?
Yeah.
That's legacy, Leah.
I think that
That's
was
legacy.
I think that was the most difficult thing about trying to write a personal bio was I don't sound very exciting on paper.
Trust me, you're way more riveting in person, and that's really the way it's supposed to be.
And it does seem like a eulogy in a way.
Yeah.
And prior to cancer, prior to February 8th, 2011, I would have had a very nice story. I would have had a very nice eulogy.
Yeah.
I think if I had to write one today, it's more impactful. My life is more impactful because of what I had to go through. And not impactful necessarily for other people, but just it means more to me. I am so afraid to fly. I was never afraid to fly.
I never would have guessed that as much as you try. I mean, I think we like are racing to see who gets the most sky miles or something. I never would have known that.
I hate to fly, but it only recently started. And the reason why is because, not because I'm a control freak or I want to fly the plane, but I love my life. I love my life, and there's so much more to do.
I think I'm more afraid of that, like in cars. I'm like, oh my gosh, especially driving in Atlanta. I'm like, just get me there, Jesus.
This is true, but I think the fear of flying has happened after it's post cancer.
That's crazy.
Just because I just know there's so much more to do. And so going back to the whole, prevention and ladies, making sure that you're getting checked, think about all the things that is yet to come for you.
There's more life beyond your diagnosis. Can you quickly tell us? There's so much more. I feel like I may need to have Leah back for a part 2. No, I'm serious. I do that sometimes. So because your story needs to be told, and we have to do justice to all of it and what it means. And we were talking on the break about where you really didn't have any genetic, type of reasons why they would even think you had cancer. There was no history.
Yeah. And it was so interesting. All of my doctor visits, they would say, "You're so young," and wow, I just didn't seem like the textbook candidate.
Yeah.
No history in my family. I don't carry the cancer gene, so to speak, according to my BRCA analysis. I was an athlete, very athletic. I worked out, ran a marathon, didn't eat red meat, didn't eat pork.
All of the things they tell you, like, take care of yourself and all of this, you were doing that stuff.
If you lined up a bunch of people and said which one, would get this. And I was also the one out of 1,000 or 1 out of 100,000 would have a bad reaction to chemo. I was that one. One out of 250,000 would have this happen to them. I was that one. The odds were always just in my favor in the wrong way.
Wow.
So it's one of those situations where you may not think you are a candidate, or it couldn't happen to you.
That's
because
true.
it hasn't happened to anyone in your
That's
circle.
real.
But I am here to say, it could definitely happen to
Absolutely.
you.
Absolutely.
And the type of cancer that I had is triple negative. That's one of the rarest kinds of breast cancer, out there. So, again, I'm not the 1 in 50 million that would win a lotto, but I'm that one out of, a whole group of people that could get triple negative stage 3 breast cancer.
Wow.
So, ladies, absolutely. I know October, there's more of a highlight on breast cancer awareness, but it's 12 months. I mean, every single
Around the clock, every day someone's fighting. And I like what you said about those, like, being the rare statistic. All I could think was, but that's how God gets the glory, though. I thought about all of the things that he's done that don't look like what we thought it would look like. Like, you take Jesus, they were expecting him to be a king born in a palace. I mean, he was born in a manger, surrounded by animals, King of Kings, Lord of Lords. You look at his life. No, he didn't hang out with rulers and kings and princes and all of this royalty. He hung out with prostitutes and thieves and fishermen. Like,
Right.
God will take an ordinary thing. He will take something that's least likely, use it for his glory, and then show what he can do with you.
Absolutely.
So he took all of these crazy odds against you, and you're still here.
Yeah.
That's like a shouting moment. Like I say in church when the pastor say, all right, you can shout. That's your shouting point right there. You're still here.
Yep. And
that's amazing.
Exactly. And to the point where, I mean, again, glory be to God, to the point where I don't have that sort of cloud hanging over my head all the time. I think he keeps me from having that cloud hanging over my head. When I first started coming out of chemo and all the surgeries, I would wake up in the morning and have my big toe would be hurting. All of a sudden, first thing in my head, oh my God, the cancer's back.
Oh yeah, you told me about that. Like every little pain, you're like freaking. Oh my gosh, what is it now?
Pain, I mean, everything that would happen to me, I get a cough, and all of a sudden, I'm thinking, I have cancer again. And it does take a while. It takes a little while for you to feel confident in your faith that it's gonna be okay. And I always just draw back on all the things that had happened up until that point. And you have to live your life. You have to.
Amen. That's awesome. So the strength to survive. Don't look back. Live now with urgency. You can do like Leah and just go for it. Just take a trip. Take a purse and a toothbrush and just go. I mean, but whatever it is, you decide the moment your diagnosis comes through if you're gonna survive. That's when you become a survivor. God speaks in whispers. So listen to the whispers in your life today. Listen to the whispers in your body, in your spirit, whether it's your gut, your intuition, whatever you call it. That still small voice will save your life. And have a team around you and give them a role. They are in the fight with you. Like, I love how Leah said, my family survived because I survived. They all survived cancer. So don't ostracize, don't isolate yourself. Allow people to love on you and to be in the fight with you. And God will make provision for even in the bad that he knows is to come. He positioned you. He positioned Leah around her support. He gave her provision with a job that will allow her the time she needed to heal and to fight. And so just know you're not alone. Again, my page is still open. If you want prayer, you're welcome to call up here to the station at 770-988-6461. I'm willing to pray with you. We're going to be in prayer for you. You have the strength to survive this. You're more than a conqueror. You are complete and whole in him. Your healing comes from him, and you will make it. You will get through this.
Amen.
Thank you, Leah.
Amen.
Oh,
Thank
my
you.
gosh.
Thanks for having me.
Awesome. I know. I believe in my spirit. I claim right now in the name of Jesus that this will save a life on today. You've now been activated, y'all. Thank you so much for tuning in. Shout out to all of you. We're fighting with you, to all of the survivors. I love your family. Stay connected. Stay connected for next week. We're going to come back with more great shows right here on the Activation Hour. I'm your girl, Melissa D, your activation specialist on 108 Praise Radio, where we're always voicing the gospel. Have a great week, family.